All-American Otaku Show.
Welcome to the All-American Otaku Show. This is Anna Bear, and I'm here to talk about our new subject today, sports. Sports is one of those things that combine us, make us better, gives us healthy competition, give us exercise, help us mentally, and sometimes it could have a negative effects on both those things. Me, as you have known from the last video, or maybe you didn't know, I am a wrestling fan, as well as something you knew about me is I'm into American football, I'm into hockey, I'm into baseball, as well as various other sports when the time rises, like the Olympics. Olympics is a prime example of a group of sports going together that go from people all around the world compete to try to get better, try to succeed, try to do things great for their country. In this, we are reunited. We're united as one. We're like, okay, here we go to do this sport. We compete and succeed in this sport. We fail in this sport, but we make lifelong connections. In high school, I was a manager for football, kind of a mascot character. I would run around, jump into the crowd, chant, yeah! All sorts of things such as that. Now, I watch football and play fantasy football. Fantasy football, for me, is you pick your players, you pick your defense and so forth, and you try to go for various different players as well as for your own team. For instance, my home team is the Seattle Seahawks, but my personal team that I go for is the Chicago Bears. The Bears, to me, it's been something with me for my whole entire life. I've been a Bears fan as long as I can remember. Whether they win, which is great, or when they lose, which is not so good, I am still a loyal fan. I also like, from my hometown, Seattle Mariners, who are a great baseball team, who are fighting, when this video comes out, a place into the playoffs. And me, I also look forward to the hockey season, where the Kraken hopefully could do something, maybe go to the Stanley Cup and win it. Who knows? But here's sports and anime. There's one sport in particular called basketball. And there's an anime called Slam Dunk that is a direct representative of basketball, where the players are trying to achieve higher goals and win championships and so forth. That's where the drama comes in. This anime has been so popular that a little town in Japan where this anime takes place, there's people all over the world who go there and takes pictures, who want to be part of that site and stuff of this anime. It's where a lot of the fans of the anime pilgrimage. This anime is called Slam Dunk and is getting a movie really soon in the States, hopefully. Another anime that's really good in sports is one called like Sumo King or something like that, where it's about a sumo wrestling and trying to achieve higher and higher into sumo wrestling. Sports are also in casual animes such as Ramen 1/2, where the main character is anything goes martial arts, is slated to marry various different girls, where the father gets in trouble. His go-to is, okay, I'll marry my son to you guys. This is also there's very sports because there's martial arts, jokingly, rhythmic gymnastics and things. But the main anime sports, or more recent I'm going to talk to you, is soccer, or what the rest of the world calls foosball or football. This anime is called Blue Lock. It's about these various different strikers from all across Japan sent into this facility that is run kind of like Squid Games, but instead, if you fail, you don't die, just your soccer career is over. They start off with various different games and competitions and trying to read out who's going to be the best soccer player. The main person in charge is a guy named Ego, who looks at the soccer game as a living organism. That one person has to be almost an egotist to become a good striker, which means one for himself or their self. To do this, he advised first a tag where you tag someone with the ball, everyone against everybody, and the person who's left with the ball is eliminated or locked off. This is where you reveal the main character has almost a monster inside him, which was explained, that's telling pass the ball or hit this person with the ball or what have you. This goes into a competition where they're scaring off one team after another, where all are strikers, but since they all want to be continuing, don't want to lose their soccer career, they're passing the ball and egotist explodes while the other teams are learning to adapt. On the last note I'm going to talk about is the anime Mix. This is the one about baseball. The Koshien thing, which is a big championship in Japan for high schoolers and middle schoolers and what have you. This is about a school who hasn't been there in decades, ever since their dad's been to there. They compete, and first they have to go for some nepotism. A guy who's in trouble and only has a certain amount of time that they can play baseball as a pitcher, and giving him an opportunity despite them losing all the time. Eventually, they go into high school. The two brothers, one is a pitcher, one's a catcher, both really great at baseball, and they lead their team to various different victories and to new heights. And eventually, they go to Koshien, and there's season 2, which unfortunately I haven't watched yet, but I really recommend this anime. It might be slow paced and slice of life, but it's a really great anime for baseball.
Are covering sports manga. And I kind of have a hard time finding exactly sports, but as one of my friends said, martial arts are sports. So my choice this time for martial arts is called Kenichi's Mighty Disciple. This is basically a semi shonen and sports at the same time. It it talks about Kenichi and being bullied for most of his life, and um, through this one help with this girl named Mew, which she's pretty high martial arts that she just kicks living ass for people. She's really pretty blonde, and excuse the friend this, she's very well endowed. She loves cats and you know has hard time making friends, and so with the help of Kenichi, she kind of uh, makes some friends that way. So during this time, she kind of uh, he follows her to this place called Raisapuku, uh, and they're housed by these five really strange martial artists. Put it that word. One of them, which they is Mia's grandfather, and he's just this tall, muscular guy that somehow you think he's pretty old, but he's much, much older than he appears. And then we have, what's his name? Sasuke. He's the, pretty built martial art karate master. I forget what the term for Dao, really high Dao level, and he's one of the masters there. Abachai, Mai Twai martial artist, and a lot of times with training with him, almost kills him quite a bit because the guy doesn't know how to hold back, and this guy's huge as well. Um, Akisama, which is a jiu-jitsu guy, and this is where Kenichi learns a lot training methods from him because the guy develops these really, really torture devices that just pushes Kenichi to the limits, but within reason because Akisama is also, trained in certain medical fields and he's a lot more smarter than the rest of the masters. Um, then we have Kensei Ma, and he's a Kempo guy. He's pretty sneaky, older gentleman. He looks a little weaker than most, but he's really good master. He's the eccentricness with him is that he's really, really perverted. He's, if you guys know Dragon Ball Z, he's as close to oh yeah, Master Roshi. He's just as bad as perverted as Master Roshi, trying to do anything he can to peek at uh, next characters. Because she's Shigure, which he likes to peek on her all the time. She's pretty well endowed as well. She's a weapon master, and Kenichi himself just absolutely hates using weapons, and he gets scared every time someone pulls out any kind of weapon on him. But he has a good reaction for countering any of those weapons, and you know it works. Um, During this whole series, he's learning from these masters, and slowly at a time, he gets better and better, and eventually he starts peaking. You know, and as martial arts go in shonen formula, he has to deal with other people. The cool thing about Kenichi himself, he has high principles. He's any enemy he usually ends up fighting and end up later on becomes his friend. Even one of the other Kempo students is like hates his guts, but over time he becomes friends with him. Um, as far as the story goes, pretty far. The anime itself is kind of short because they couldn't. They went too fast into the manga. The manga is pretty long, and the story development is pretty good on this. I give this manga really high praise. I enjoy the development and